and welcome back to the channel. Right, so the last of the three buffs that have went live today is Sentinel. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at Sentinel pre and post buff damage, going to compare it, and then I'm going to give my generic thoughts and breakdown. But my thoughts effectively have not changed. Sentinel is just a better version of himself, and a chunkier, meatier defender, which is where I believe he will have some sort of relevance potentially in the game. It will certainly not be as an offensive powerhouse in the competitive game modes, in my opinion, even though he's definitely is better as an attacker. Additionally, I do think he provides quite a bit of versatility into the questing scenarios and other aspects of the game, not necessarily the competitive meta aspects of Battlegrounds or that basically. I think he could have place in Alliance War and definitely in questing situations too. So pre-buff, what you do with Sentinel is you kind of hit opponent's block and ramp yourself up and let opponent use same special attack several times in a row to help you with a fast ramp up. And as we can see here, every time AI does repeated action, you gain 4 charges. So you can see that hitting a full combo in the block basically nets me 12 charges, and that's how you ramp him up. It is a bit tedious at times, AI dependent as well, but again, if AI is not necessarily cooperating, you can try and bait out the same special attack several times in a row, but that's kind of a requirement. And then once you are ramped up, you effectively spam level 2s. Level 1 is kind of your utility special attack that gives you access to heal block and armor breaks, thus armor removal. And level 2 is Incinerate. Also, when you're maxed ramp up, it increases your damage, increases your tankiness, and perhaps most importantly, it reduces the amount of power you use when you use special attacks. So here we can see 5 Incinerates, each ticking for 661, which is quite an important point of comparison for later. And yeah, that's what you do. And I do have a Sentinel relic equipped to my Sentinel, which lets me occasionally pause the Incinerates, which gives me Incinerate vulnerability, which increased the Incinerate damage to 727. And that's the rest of the fight. Once Sentinel has ramped up, it's a fairly linear amount of damage. You just get your level 2s, you drop those, you rush back up to new level 2 as quickly as you can. You can weave in a heavy attack here and there, but again, even though the shock damage is quite decent, it does kind of like slow you down, and level 2s are the main source of your damage. So even though shock would be dealing some damage in the background, the fact that you would be activating your level 2s slower by spamming the shock and heavy attacks kind of equals things out in general. And there you go. When you do have your unstoppable and opponent doesn't have bar power, typically it's kind of fine to throw that heavy, why not? But don't over kind of focus on it. And here, that is it. So this is pre-buff. So that's 2 minutes 21. Now let's take a look at how he deals with 6.41 Deadpool. 2 minutes 21, by the way, is not awful time for a 6-star rank 3. It's not great by any means, but it's not, catastrophically bad like it was 3 minutes plus for Sentry and Deadpool X-Force. So he was at the better starting position. And here, I'm going to be trying 2 different ways. So here I basically ramp up fully by the time, before I do anything else. So here in a shorter fight, I did like a full ramp up before I did anything else. Then I went for a heavy attack because AI was a bit stingy. And we're gonna just get to level 2, and that should just about close things out in this type of situation. And he actually doesn't do bad. Realistically, Sentinel does not have an awful damage output even before the buff. It's not great, but it's, middle of the pack, I would say, somewhere. And here you go, the Deadpool's dead, this time around in 50 seconds with relatively uncooperative AI. Next time around I figured I'm gonna be more aggressive, and I'm going to hit the block as and when opportunity presents me, but I'm also going to immediately start building up my power also. So here, I'm hitting the block, and obviously against mutants, he ramps up quicker. So here again, I drop in a couple of full combos, a couple of shortened combos, do get my opportunity to throw let him throw that special attack, and now I'm going to force another special attack out of him, so I'm fully ramped thanks to that. And now I'm just going to immediately go for my level 2. And then I also, well, I'm going to activate my relic. Perhaps I shouldn't have, but the plan is I'm going to drop my level 2. And then I do have my level 1 as well in order to heal block. Not that I do really need that heal block thanks to Despair, but, you know, still can't hurt. Level 2, level 1, finish this fight off. 42 seconds. It's actually fairly solid. So, now the buff. The changes to him. He ramps up faster, and perhaps most importantly, he does have that Intimidate. Again, keep in mind that Intimidate is not guaranteed that they will hold the block. I already, in testing, ate several specials to the face. Like right now, I actually believe, but that's fine. So even through Intimidate, you know, it's not a guaranteed. It helps you, but, you know, do what you will with that. So here I'm going to drop another heavy attack, get that shock in. I'm going to just about finish my ramp up. Bait out at level 1, and then the ramp up is going to be done. And I'm going to build up, in this case, nearly 3 bars of power actually, so I can kind of like double up on my incinerates. There you go, I do have shock, which is just about the same as it was before. And now I'm going to activate relic before my level 2 to put that incinerate vulnerability on the Winter Soldier. Drop it, and we do have incinerates. 10 of them, he's dealing 778 damage. So the incinerate overall damage definitely has improved, especially once you have full analysis active. And here we can see that those 10 incinerates do stay for a while. They deal 778 damage with incinerate vulnerability, which is similar to how much damage they used to do before, except that they last longer now and there are more of them. So overall, that was kind of like a positive aspect of the fight for sure. And we can see that Sentinel is getting down that Winter Soldier faster, unquestionably. So previously it was 2 minutes 20 seconds something, and now we are just about at the finish line, and it has not been 2 minutes 20. It has been less. Exactly how much? We're going to see in a second. Right, so Winter Soldier is going to drop the last special, but he dies midway through. So it's 141. It's a significant increase. 141 is quite good. It's not top shelf, but it's a good damage output. And given how much utility Sentinel has for various different situations and circumstances, decent. I tried the same thing again with a bit different rotations, and I effectively finished in 141. So we can decide that Sentinel actually has fairly stable damage output, which is one of the cool things about character. He's not really reliant on crits or RNG, aside from the AI. RNG, or which AI you can get. And here in this case, I thought another important thing is how fast he is when he doesn't have the level 2. Because as I mentioned in my ability breakdown video, the fact that Kabam didn't give him plasma against mutants, or a, you know, ability to toggle that incinerate something else in a pre-fight screen, really makes it so that he's not the best option for a lot of matchups. And the duration of the armor breaks, thanks to his new increased debuff duration ability, it is better. So if you actively spam your level 1s, if you do have fairly good aggressive AI, you're going to be basically having from 6 to 12 armor breaks on the opponent. They're not the most potent ones though, but in combination with the Sentinel's increased attack thanks to analysis charges, it actually is doing a fairly solid amount of damage by spamming those level 1s. It is, however, still significantly slower. So I'm not going to show this entire fight, but the point was to try out the level 1 rotation where you upkeep armor break the entire time, where you upkeep heal block the entire time and armor breaks. You can weave in a heavy attack here and there, but the main point is spamming just the level 1s here. Which is definitely not the damage special, is the utility special. And can he still do, you know, for instance, this would be something similar that you want to do against somebody like Sinister. And it's 222. So it's kind of like exactly pre-buff version. And it's not awful. It's slightly bit better than I thought it would be. It's definitely not great. But at the very least, with that rotation, you can use him against somebody like, you know, Bishop, for instance. It's better. I don't think it's great, though. And now we're going to be using a couple different strategies. This is actually the solo clip. I deleted the other one. But this is the Deadpool fight. So previously, when we did well, we had like 42 seconds in the best attempt, 50 seconds where the AI is a bit spotty. Here I went uber aggressive and I did it in 35 seconds. So generally, I do think he does have a very solid damage output for, you know, medium length fights, short to medium length fights. Again, my issue with him offensively is his matchups. I don't think he will end up performing particularly great in most of the relevant needed matchups. You know, I don't think he's going to be great bullseye, onslaught, you know, bishop, havoc, ATC counter. However, I think he's capable of doing a lot of those fights, especially now that I have seen him using the level 1. So I think he's somewhat usable on attack, which might be good enough if he is a good defender. So he's still a buff that I am interested in, largely because I do suspect that he might be annoying stall type of defender. And, you know, kind of similar to Red Skull, maybe not as good offensively as Red Skull is. I do think Red Skull is better offensively than Sentinel is. But in similar way. Most of the time, Red Skull is going to go in defense, but when he goes on attack, he can do well. Let me know what you guys think. Overall, I think it's a fine, solid buff. In order for me to call it good buff, I would definitely have wanted to see Plasma against mutants, or like a ability to access, let's say, Rupture or something else in the pre-fight screen. That would make him great. Now, on the other hand, I hope he's good enough. But what are your thoughts and opinions? And I'm going to catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about